All right, so a few things before we jump into this. One, it's allergy season and I'm out of breath and stuffy as fuck today. So I'm sorry for the heavy breathing. Two, I think it's gonna rain. I don't know. I can't tell, but it's been getting cloudy, then sunny, then cloudy, so I apologize for that. And number three, which is actually related to the Reading Rush. My TBR is subject to change. It's not permanent. It never is. I always say that, like, there's a possibility I'll be flipping things in and out because I'm a mood reader. TBRs are very difficult for me because I set myself up for, oh, I'm going to enjoy these things, and then I read a book and then I am not in the mood for what I need to follow up doing. So there's a chance that some of these might change. Also, I think for 2 or 3 of these prompts, I don't have a specific book in mind yet. I just have an idea. I'm not going to decide this early, but I still wanted to make a video talking about what I do plan on reading. So I will talk about those. I guess we'll just jump right into it. But I should probably start by saying my name is Catelyn. Hi, my name is Catelyn. Today I'm going to be talking about my 2020 Reading Rush TBR. I am so excited for this. Last year, I did not realize that the name changed from Booktubeathon to the Reading Rush. So like my phone is updating me with this Twitter stuff and I'm not opening it because I'm like, I don't care. I don't use my Twitter. I never check Twitter. So I was ignoring it. And then like 2 days before the Reading Rush started, I figured out that it was Booktubeathon. I was like, oh, fuck. So it was a little bit of a mess for me, the last year's. I think I read maybe 3 books. But this year, I have been anticipating it since January, so I'm excited. And having the stay-home Reading Rush was so nice. I loved that. I had a blast. I'm just so excited. And I come into this every year with the intention of, oh, I'm going to participate online. I'm going to do all these things. And then I never do. I just get busy and overwhelmed. I have a 3-year-old that has multiple therapy appointments during the week, so I get I don't even know what I was going to say. I get confuzzled. That's not a word, but that's what I was going with. Perfect representation for how I feel. The fact that I got confused and then I said a word that does not exist. We'll just jump right into everything though. The first prompt is to read a book that is, the cover is the same color as your birthstone. Had to think for a second. Fun fact, my birthday is July 20th, aka the first day of the Reading Rush. Thank you for bestowing this birthday gift upon me that I desperately needed. You know, 2020 has been a dumpster fire of a year, and I feel like this is the universe giving me one thing. So thank you. The book I plan on reading for this prompt is Ruby Red by Christian Gear. I've owned this since 2015 and have yet to read it yet. I have the whole series and I have yet to read it. But fun fact, July's birthstone is a ruby. This book is red, says ruby, has rubies. I had to pick this one. Yes, I have other books that are red on the cover, or like a dark, deep blood red. I have to do this. This is the universe saying, bitch, read this fucking book already, and I'm gonna. I'm taking the hint. I'm nervous though, because I do believe this is YA. I don't typically read YA anymore. I steer away from it. And maybe I'll read it the first day on my actual birthday. So birthday, birthstone, ruby red. I have nothing going on my birthday. My birthday obviously is on a Monday. Like, my son has a doctor's appointment. Like, that's my birthday plan. My mom and I are going out of town that previous weekend to visit my grandma for like 5 days, so it'll be fine. I don't plan on I guess my birthday present from my fiance can be that when he gets off work, I get time to read my book and be left alone. So happy birthday, happy first prompt. Moving on. So the second prompt is to read a book that starts with the word the. I have so many books that start with the word the. I didn't pick a single book from these shelves because I'm a genius. I'm picking a book I don't have a physical copy of. I picked the Roanoke Girls mystery thriller. I don't read thriller. I typically avoid thrillers. Well, I actively avoid them. Thrillers give me a lot of anxiety, and I have a very high sitting pulse rate that when I get anxiety, I feel like I'm having a heart attack, and it's like triggers an anxiety attack. It's a whole thing. And so I just avoid books that make me feel like that. And this is October. Like, I really like reading thrillers in October, but like that comes with the territory, you know? Sorry, you didn't need to see my chest cleavage that bad. The reason I want to read this so bad is because when you get a lot of books that have heavy content, there's like a trigger warning, and it usually will pertain to what? Like trigger warning for sexual assault, past trauma, what did I see the other day? Non-consensual, consensual sex, things like that. Everywhere I look for this book, there's a trigger warning, but not specifically for what, because it gives away the book's like plot, twist, whatever it is. I don't know. I know a very little amount about this book, and that's how I like going into thrillers, is knowing absolutely nothing. I just know that my curiosity has got the best of me with this book, and I desperately want to read it. I don't know if I'll get a physical copy of this one or not. I haven't decided yet. I need to decide soon because I need to get my other ones ordered so they're here on time. But for now, this is what I plan on reading. Besides one other book on my list, this is what I'm most excited to read from my list of books that I have. So the third prompt is to read a book that's inspired a movie you've already seen. For this one, I had a couple ideas, but it was really difficult actually, like coming up with something, because I know there's a plethora of movies out there that I've seen that are based on books, and I just probably don't know it, or I do know it and I just can't think of them. If I was up for a bigger challenge, I would read Gone Girl. I watched this last month. I put my son down for a nap. He takes a nap every day. I threw my TV on with the intention of putting YouTube on, and this had just started on TV, and I sat and watched the whole thing. And I always was like, no, I want to read the book first, and I own the book, so I have to read the book first. And then, yeah, I didn't. If I believed in myself, I would read this, because reading 2 thrillers, like, who is she? Like, wow, didn't know it did that. But I don't know. Like, the thing is this is like very tiny font. Tiny font, it's over 400 pages. If the Reading Rush was like over a longer period of time, like, sure, throw this one in, I'll read it. But I know I won't be able to accomplish it. I know myself. I know I won't want to pick this up. It would be forcing myself. I might give this away, honestly. I have no intention of reading this anytime soon. Instead, I think I'm going to read The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, just because it's a classic, it's short. My son and I can watch the movie after I'm finished reading it. I could read it to him if he would sit still long enough for me to read him a book. I don't own a copy. Looking at his shelf, I don't have a copy of this, but I am just planning on running to my Barnes & Noble and picking one up. I mainly chose this one because I know I've seen the movie. I've never read the book. I know it's short, so I know that I can fit it within my time restraints. So that is the plan. For now, that's the plan. Again, subject to change in the 2.5 weeks. I could find something that I desperately want to read that I didn't think of at the moment. But for now, Wonderful Wizard of Oz. The 4th prompt is to read the first book you touch. What I did for this is I have a couple different ideas. Again, I don't have a set book. I went through my bookshelf of the books I really want to get to. I took out the long ones though. I took off It, like Strange the Dreamer. So I took off books that the really, really long ones, because I didn't want to accidentally touch those. And I grabbed the first book I touched, which was Would Like to Meet by Rachel Winters. This is for one of my Romanceopoly prompts, which I'm very behind on Romanceopoly, so I would be inclined to read this. It's about I know that the girl and the guy meet on a set. I think they're both writers or producers for movies. She keeps trying to set up fake meet cutes in real life to meet men, and they're not working. And he doesn't believe in romance. I don't know. I don't know much. I just know people really liked this. I fly through contemporary really quickly because they just usually pull me in. I've heard this is funny. So this is one of my options. My other option is I have a bunch of ebooks on my phone that I want to get to. So I was planning on just kind of scrolling, closing my eyes, and touching one. And I'll do that, or I will read this. It's just going to depend, because I'm a mood reader. So if I'm really feeling this, I will just directly pick this up. If I'm not feeling contemporary, I'll run for an ebook and I will do that. It'll probably end up being a contemporary though. But that's besides the point. The 5th prompt is to read a book completely outside of your house. For this, I just plan on reading something while I'm at work. I work a walk-in clinic every other Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do I work that Friday? Yeah, so yeah, I work that Friday, and then I work Saturday, Sunday, so I'll either pick something short to read on Sunday, or I'll pick a book that'll take me to 3 days. I'm probably gonna end up picking a Jenica Snow book. My work is slow because of COVID. It's not as slow as it had been the previous couple months, but we are slower than what we had been. So I have a lot of downtime. I can get a book done while I'm there. And then I go to my cousin's house on Sundays to hang out with her. It's my night away from my 3-year-old, and I can finish whatever I'm reading if I don't finish at work there. I know I can get it done. And then whatever I don't get done there, I could always start a book when my son goes to OT on Thursday, because I have to sit in the car there because I'm not allowed inside because of COVID. I have options. Like, I have plenty of options where I'm not at home. Like, I know a lot of people don't, and you know, you're stuck at home because of everything going on, but I'm a fortunate person who I didn't lose my job because of everything, and I work in a clinic, so like my job was very much affected by COVID. So I don't know where I was going with this. I need a nap. Anyway, the sixth book is to read a book in a genre that you've always wanted to read more of. For this, I plan on reading the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. It's a horror novel, I believe. I don't know much about it. I know some kids are going missing, and there's like a forest, and a bad guy's killing them. Probably a vampire. I found this book when Olivia Reads a Latte was talking about it, and I'm gonna be really honest. 85% of my desire to read this book is because of the cover. The cover is gorgeous. It's beautiful. And I do plan on buying a physical copy of this book. I don't even care if I hate it. It's beautiful. I do not read horror books. I've read 3, I think, my entire life, and they've all been horrible. The Merciless by Danielle Vega, which I read for Booktubeathon back in like 2014. It was hot fucking garbage. So I don't have a lot of exposure to the horror genre. I've tried to read a few Stephen King books and I've yet to complete one. I think I just need to accept my fate with Stephen King and accept that I'm never gonna like a book by him. I don't like that. I could read one where he's not on a bunch of drugs, though. I don't know. Where was I going with this? Out of all my books that I do have planned, this is the one I'm most excited for. I am so excited for this book. If the reading rush wasn't going on, I'd probably pick it up like right now, but I can hold off for a couple weeks. I don't know what state this takes place in either. I should look it up. But the fact that it's Southerner, like, I instantly think of New Orleans, and I have like this association with New Orleans in the summer because this time last year, my son went through a huge The Princess Frog phase, and we watched it every day, multiple times a day. And I was doing this thing where I was like, oh, I gotta read every single Jennifer L. Armentrout book. I finished her Wicked series, and then I read the novella, like the spin-off Tiny series by her, and they all take place in New Orleans. So I just associate June and July with Louisiana. So I'm hoping it takes place in that time. I'm also hoping if I can get through this, I will finally accomplish reading The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. I want to read that book, but every time I go to open it, I'm just not in the mood. And I have the audiobook and I haven't even listened to it. And I'm kicking myself for not reading it. And I want to read it and I need to get to it. But besides the point, I'm so excited for this book. And if you can't tell, my ADD is coming out really strong. So that means I'm excited. So moving on. So the last prompt is to read a book that takes place on a different continent than you live. For this, I just plan on reading a historical romance because almost all historical romances take place in Europe. I have 3 physical ones that are possibilities, and then I have one that I actually may end up going with that's an ebook. So for the 3 physical ones I have, Governess Game, I Can't Say That to Save My Life, by Tessa Dare. This is the 2nd book in the Girl Meets Duke series. I've read the 1st and the 3rd one. I've loved both of them. I really loved the 1st one, and I want to read this one so I can have it done. I read the 1st one last month because I was like, oh, the 4th one comes out in August, and then I go on Goodreads and it got pushed back to next year, so I have to remove that from my bullet journal for most anticipated releases this year. It's fine. I understand. The world's on fire, so that one is an option. My other option for Tessa Dare is Do You Want to Start a Scandal, which I could use for a Romanceopoly prompt that I really, again, need to get done because I'm very behind on my Romanceopoly books. So that may be the one I end up going with. Just, again, 2 birds, 1 stone. But if I don't do that, I have as backups Chasing Cassandra as well as The Rogue Not Taken. I just pulled these off my historical romance shelf because I bought these relatively recently. I got this one for like $3. In my used bookstore. These typically take me a day. I know some people can read them faster, but again, I have a 3-year-old, so I need something short in between all the longer ones that I have on my list. So that's my very loose TBR. I'm dropping them. I'm a professional. I'm not a professional. Half of these I won't even end up reading, so I don't know why I'm holding them up like this is my actual TBR. But I don't know. I'm so excited for this. I feel like this is coming at a really good time. Like, this is something that's really needed to get people's like spirits up. Like I said earlier, the world's a fucking dumpster fire right now. And the only thing pushing me through this year was knowing that the Reading Rush was coming up, and then when Stephanie Meyer announced Midnight Sun. Like, that's what I'm pushing through for, because Penelope Douglas pushed back a book series to next year that I was really looking forward to. The Bride Bet got pushed back to next year. And another book I was wanting to read also got pushed back to next year. So it's fine. I should mention too that one of these books may end up actually being Nightfall by Penelope Douglas, which is this. This is the 4th book in the Devil's Night series by her. It's my most anticipated book of the year. Just so excited. I know that she's very polarizing and people have opinions, but whatever. I like what I like. You like what you like. Shut the fuck up. I don't know what prompt I could technically switch it out with a cover that matches the color of your birthstone, because there's red on it. I could like kind of get away with that. I could read it for a genre I've always wanted to read more of, because I don't gravitate towards dark romance a lot. It's a dark romance book series. I could also maybe read it for a book that takes place on a different continent than you are on, because I'm pretty sure where the character's being held is not in the United States, like if I had to bet. But again, it could be Canada, or like I don't know where at specifically, so it'd have to like definitely be off the continent. I won't know that until I read it, so that's unfortunate. So I don't know what my plan is on that, but I have to read that book when it comes out, and it's in the week of the Reading Rush, so it's probably going to end up somewhere on my TBR, and I can't believe I just now remembered that. Fan. It's probably going to replace Ruby Red. I'm realizing that it's probably going to replace Ruby Red, and I know I was so excited about it in the universe lining up, but I could read it outside of my house, actually. What day is the 24th? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday. Okay, so it comes out Thursday. I could hold off reading that until I take my son to OT Thursday morning, get an hour of it, and then read the rest of it at work. I don't know how much I'd like that though, because I will like want to sit there and read it, and like work I have to check patients in and do all this other stuff, so I may do that actually. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna read Nightfall for the 4th prompt, or the 5th prompt, read a book completely outside of your house. I'm so excited for that book. Like when Credence came out in January, I was like, what the fuck is this? Where's Nightfall? And then she announced Nightfall, and I was like, okay, thank God. And then she's like, oh, by the way, the Falls Boys, I'm pushing that back to next year. And I was like, okay. I was probably looking forward to that one a little bit more than I was Nightfall. I say it's my most anticipated, knowing that that book got pushed back to a year, but before it was definitely the first 2 books in that series, as well as the like companion book to Birthday Girl she's planning for called Motel. I don't know how serious she is about that book, but I want it so bad. Birthday Girl is one of my top 5 favorite books of all time. I've read it 6 times, and the first time I read it was last September, so that says a lot. That's all I have for this video. I'll link my Instagram if you're curious down below, and my Snapchat. Snapchat's where I talk about books the most. I don't use Twitter. Fuck Twitter. I come into this every year with the intention of, I'm gonna like start a booktube channel, and I'm gonna vlog, and I'm gonna do all these things, and then I never do. Maybe this year I will. Maybe that'll officially change. I don't know. But I would like to do the video stuff. I just don't know. I get so overwhelmed. I have a 3-year-old. I've mentioned that a bunch, but I do have a 3-year-old. And my fiance works really weird hours. Not really weird hours, but like weird enough hours that the flow of the day, I don't know. That's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this. And thank you so much for watching this video. And if I make more in the future, I hope you see them. Again, I probably won't. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Fuck.